Shops have never been more important in Rust than they are right now. Whether you're part of a clan or a solo, every player has too much of one resource and too little of another. So what if I told you with this one simple setup, you could go to sleep with boxes full of primitive gear and wake up the next morning with everything you've ever wanted? Hey guys, Chazzy here. Today we're going to be talking all about how you can automate your shops, and we're going to get right into the first design. This circuit is great because it will let your shops automatically fill and empty themselves as you make sales. Start off by throwing a storage adapter on your shop and a large box. Then we're going to put up 2 industrial conveyors. Next we're going to pipe out from the box through one of the conveyors and into the shop. After you do that, pipe out from the shop through the other conveyor and then back into the box. We can get the conveyors going by plugging them into a power source and then passing the electricity along through to the other one. This shop is going to be selling semi-automatic rifles for sulfur ore, so we want to start with a box full of SARs. We can go ahead and add our sell order to the shop. The left box will have what we're going to be selling, and the right box is what we want to exchange it for. Then on our input conveyor with the blue pipes, we'll let a filter to only pump in as many SARs as we want at one time. In this case, we'll only do 1 by setting the max value to 1. Because we're selling our SARs for sulfur, we're going to set our output conveyor to filter out sulfur ore. With both of those filters set, we can see 1 SAR get pulled out of our box and pumped into the vending machine. Now with some sulfur in our inventory, we can buy a SAR and see what happens. Each time we buy a SAR, we get the one from the vending machine, and the conveyor pumps another one in. Now we can see that the 1500 sulfur we used to pay for the SARs is already getting pumped out of the vending machine and back into our box. This circuit is absolutely perfect for players who want to sell things like guns or other resources like diesel and want to make sure that they hold on to their loot even if their shop gets raided. The best part about this circuit is that we can put as many doors as we want in between our shop and our output box, and the circuit will still work perfectly fine. Let me know in the comments what you guys would use this setup to sell, and let's move on to the next part. Although we can't pipe through walls to and from our shop, we can make it through conditionals. So let's say you live in a cozy little 2x2 roof bunker, and you want to sell some of your extra prim gear for sulfur. We have our shop conveniently set up right near the airlock of our base, and it's ready to sell all of a grub's favorite tools, which is perfect since we live right next to Outpost. Even with drones being added, a walk-up shop is still great for selling low-tier stuff, but it does pose a big risk of being raided, especially this close to Outpost. But with this setup and a nice roof bunker like this, we can guarantee that even when our airlock and shop get raided, we get to keep all the sulfur profit we made from it. Another great option if you want to throw a shop down in your compound or on your roof is a simple wall roof trick. By placing the back of our shop close to a wall, nobody's able to access it, but we can still get a storage adapter on and pipe to and from it. Then, if we ever need to administrate it, we can just throw a roof down, part of the wall disappears, and then we can get into the top of the shop. After that, we can break the roof piece again, and it goes back to being inaccessible. This next setup combines what we learned in our first section with an industrial crafter to almost endlessly refill your shop. We're going to start by placing storage adapters on a large box and the shop, as well as putting up 3 industrial conveyors. Then place the industrial crafter on your workbench. After that, we'll power everything by passing electricity through the conveyors and then lastly into the crafter. Pipe out from the box into the first conveyor and then out of the first conveyor into the crafter. After that, connect the output of the crafter into the second conveyor and the second conveyor to the vending machine. Then pipe out from the vending machine into the third conveyor and then out from the third conveyor back into the original box. With everything wired up, we're ready to put our blueprint into the industrial crafter. In this case, it's a garage door. Next, we're going to put some crafting materials for garage doors into this large box. Set the first conveyor to only put in enough crafting materials to the crafter for 1 garage door. Then we're going to fill up some of the output spaces in the industrial crafter so that it can only hold 1 garage door at a time. Set the filter on the second conveyor to be 1 garage door with a max value of 1. And set the third conveyor to pipe out gears, since that's what we'll be selling the doors for. Then place a sell order in the shop for 1 garage door for 5 gears. This will mean that essentially for every door we sell, we're exchanging 300 metal frags and profiting 3 gears. Now we can turn everything on and watch the crafter get to work. It does take time to craft the garage doors, but this shouldn't be an issue as long as you're not selling a garage door more than once every 15 seconds. And as you can see, after we craft one, the materials for another are loaded up and ready to go. This setup will guarantee that as long as we have metal fragments in that box, our shop should always have a garage door ready for sale. Now we can test it out by buying a few garage doors. After we buy one, we can hear the second one get loaded up and it's ready to go again. Now when we check our shop, we can see the gears have already been pulled out and the next garage door is being crafted to be placed in there. And in our box, we see the gears that we've already profited. There you have it. No more bopping barrels or opening crate after crate praying for gears. As a proof of concept, the same thing can be done to sell something like a gun in exchange for springs. In this case, we're going to profit 3 springs for every 1 SAR that we craft. I'm going to go through each of the conveyors and the industrial crafter so that if you want to, you can set this up as well. And just like that, we're farming springs without doing any work. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to check out more content on the channel.